Hi, welcome back to the training series for the Dr. Justina system for COVID-19 contact tracing in the state of Colorado. In this video, we will be going over closing a contact or case.
In this video, we're going to go over the following key concepts. By the end of this video, you should be able to understand the ways to close a case or contact through the case investigation and contact notification forms and modules. Know what happens to a case or contact when it has a current status of closed and it was created 20 days ago. Before we start, we're going to go over a couple definitions. We've got active, open case records, which can be accessed via the applications menu, like the all cases menu or the all contacts menu, for example. Inactive, open case records, which have been marked as inactive. In the data output, these are marked current status equals closed. These records will still show up in some menus for deduplication purposes, but are not expected to be actively worked on. Various filters may be applied in some menus so that inactive records will not show up. We've also got a process, automatic case contact inactivation. Dr. Justina will automatically mark cases and contacts as inactive when its current status is closed and was created 20 days ago.
Now that you've learned the definitions of open and active and closed, let's see how this relates to our modules. So here on the Dr. Justina homepage, you can see we have the All Open Cases module. These are cases that are still undergoing investigation and have not been marked as closed or completed in any way. The All Closed Cases module down here, these are cases where the investigation is complete and there is no expectation that there will be any follow-up or any necessary action after they've been marked as closed. These closed cases are the ones that have been closed in the past 45 days. So after 45 days, you will no longer be able to see those closed cases on this front end system. Any closed cases after 45 days can only be seen on the back end by an administrator or someone who has access to our back end reporting system. The same logic holds true for the contacts modules. So the All Open Contacts module has your open contacts that are still undergoing investigation, and all closed contacts, these are inactive contacts that have been closed within the past 45 days. After 45 days, any contacts that are already closed are not going to be visible in this front end system. Now I'm going to show you how to close a case record. So let's go into our All Open Cases module to locate our test case. Click on the case name, and we can see in this snapshot here that the status of this case is open. Click Continue. On your menu of options, you are going to look for this option called Close or Reopen the Patient Record, and that allows you to change the status of this case from open to closed. So let's click on this option. This brings up the Close or Reopen the Patient Record form. Here we can see the case information, her name, date of birth, age, and any other relevant information that we have saved on her case record. Then we see we have a question here that says, are you sure you want to close this record? So you can indicate yes, close this record. So here for confirming the patient's outcome or final disposition, this is a required question that is required in order to change the status from open to closed. So you can say that this person was reached and you completed the investigation, and that's why you want to close the record. And then down here is just a reminder of what will happen after you click submit. Final disposition will change to reached completed investigation. Then you will click the submit button. Another way that the status can be updated from open to closed is through the case investigation form. So let's take a look at how that workflow works. Currently, we're in the All Cases module, and you can see here on this case list, you can see the status of the cases listed here, if they're opened or closed. So let's click on this open test case and click Continue to go to the options. Click Case Investigation to go to the Case Investigation form. And this is a form that has already been filled out, so there are lots of questions answered, but I'm just going to go to the bottom to show you how this works. So under this last section here, there's a question here that says, are you ready to close the record? If the patient's outcome is marked as in progress, you will not be able to close the record. So up here, I can see that this case investigation form has the final disposition as answered as in progress, probably because the interview was not completed yet. So if I were to go back into the form because there's been an update or the case investigation interview is being redone, I can change this to another option. And that will bring me down to this question where I can answer yes or no if I'm ready to close out the record. So you really want to make sure that when you read this, you go back up to make sure that this is not in progress if you really are ready to close the record from the case investigation form. But any of the other options, and in addition to marking this yes, will allow the record to be closed. Then after that, I can go down to the bottom to click submit, and that will update the status of this case. Now I'm going to show you how to close a contact record. It is almost identical to the workflow for cases. So let's go and find an open contact. I'm going to click on this test contact. Just like we did for cases, we have a close or reopen the contact record form. So I'm going to click this. And there's a question asking if I want to close this record. And just like our other form, there are options here to fill in the contact's outcome or final disposition. And below we see what properties will be updated upon closure. So contact attempt outcome will be changed to message left, interview complete no, and final disposition follow-up completed. So this contact attempt outcome is the original outcome, so nothing is changing there, but just the final disposition outcome changes to follow-up completed. Then we would click submit to close this contact record. Almost identical to how I showed you how to close a case record or a contact record, we can also use that same form to reopen a record when necessary. So I will show you by using an example from the All Contacts module, and we're going to go into this closed record to reopen them. So click on the contact's name. And go to the close or reopen the contact record form. And so since this contact is already marked as closed, if we wanted to reopen them, we could answer yes, reopen the contact. This is a review of the properties, and then you would click submit to reopen the record. And like we're doing this for a contact record, we can do the same exact thing for a case record. That concludes our training on closing a case or contact record or reopening a case or contact record. Make sure you check out the Dr. Justina website for more information.